The views expressed on this episode, as with all episodes of We Hate Your Baby Daddy, are based solely on our personal opinions and shit we heard in the streets.
The content here should not be taken as indisputable fact. This show is for entertainment purposes only, so enjoy and don't come for us.
Welcome to our very first episode. Today, we're going to talk about a very special and very famous baby daddy by the name of Elon Reeve Musk. This nigga is the CEO of all these different companies: Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, Twitter, or X, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. We don't need to get into all that shit about what he does. Everybody knows who he is, and he sucks. So, did you know that this man is a prolific baby daddy?
Like, not a lot of people talk about it, but he has 10 kids. Like, 10. I would have thought that maybe, like, oh, it's Elon Musk. He had, like, a previous marriage. Maybe he has three, but no, like, he has 10 that we know of. Do you
Right,
really
because
think he's,
some
like,
estimates put it at like 11, and I'm like, he needs to be stopped.
11? There's another
Yeah,
one?
girl, it's like, if you look it up, I don't think that anyone is quite sure how many are out there because he keeps popping up with new ones.
That we know of, because the man has a lot of money, so he could have like paid off a lot of like secret children.
Ugh.
Wow. Let's dive into it. Let's
So,
dive into a deep dive.
deep dive into Elon Reeve Musk. So back in 2000, Elon was married to an innocent angel of a woman. Her name was Justine Wilson. And I'm just kidding. I don't know her, but he's such a piece of shit. And in my opinion, she's a woman. So that automatically makes her an angel. Anyway, moving on. So he had six kids with Justine. Two of those kids are twins. Three of the kids are triplets, and then one of them sadly passed away from SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. In 2018, he started dating the musician Grimes, and they had two kids together. Well, actually, I guess now we're at three, but we'll get into that. Um, so they had two kids together, and he gave them really weird names. The boy, they call him X, and the girl, they call her Y, and we'll talk about that more later. And then he had two more kids, twins with his motherfucking employee. Her name's Nicole Shanahan it was what, 2021? And we'll talk about that more later too.
I'm honestly very suspicious with the multiple births. That's very strange to me.
Because it's the IVF. They make all the embryos and then they're like, well, we have 16 embryos, better implant all of them, and then whatever survives, that's what they birth it.
Very
It's a
science
weird process.
experimenty. I don't like that.
Not feeling
Well,
it.
back in 2010, his ex-wife Justine wrote an article for Marie Claire, and it was called "I Was a Starter Wife." Vicious. Inside America's Messiest Divorce. So they met in college. He pursued her even though she wasn't super interested in the beginning. I get that. Have you seen Elon Musk before he got his hair did?
Sister. I mean, it was horrendous. He looked like Charlie Brown
The
with
man
the
was
lines
trying.
where hair should
Yeah.
be. It was bad.
He really did. He has like the head shape too. Like that was actually pretty sad. So before they got married in their 20s, he sneakily made her sign like a post-nup, which conveniently entitled her to absolutely nothing if they got divorced, which was
Disgusting.
really bold of him, honestly, with what he was offering at the time.
Thank you.
I mean, like, I guess he had like that family money to begin with, but
Right.
was he like the favorite son at that point, or
I don't even know if he has siblings. I know that his dad actually recently married his stepsister, I think it was. But otherwise, I don't know if he had any actual. Do you know if he had
I
like?
would say the dad stepsister would definitely not put him at the favorite sibling. So not sure about that one.
Yuck! So we can confidently say he's not the favorite.
We got to circle a block around his family. We got to
Ew.
circle a block. He has so much detail about his family. We have, you know, a lot of the origins that makes a baby daddy starts with the family.
Absolutely. And you
Like
see
what
where he comes
blossomed
from.
this horrible man.
The shit apple fell from the shit tree.
And then it like fell and splattered upon us poor women.
Ugh.
Okay, okay. So, did you know when their first child passed away from SIDS, he said that her grief was emotionally manipulative, very much like men.
That's such a
They,
psychotic thing. Her baby passed away, and you're saying you're crying? You're trying to manipulate me. Like, nigga,
oh, I should feel bad. That's not my fault.
psychotic.
Oh, so, and also at some point in their relationship, he made her brown hair blonde to look more like his idea of a trophy wife. I have something to say about that. Isn't his mom a known blonde model?
I don't know, but that would make sense because he's creepy, gross, comes from a weird ass family. So if he has some kind of Oedipus shit going on with his mom, would not surprise me.
So he was the one who filed for divorce, of course. Then he was engaged 6 weeks later, again, of course, to someone else who he didn't go on to have kids with.
And like we
So
don't
in
even need to
the
get into the bitches. Like, I mean, it was Amber Heard he dated, and then he was married to Tallulah Riley.
I
So
honestly think that he makes all of these women sign contracts because I didn't see not even like a couple of days ago he posted pictures of Amber Heard and it's like why are you even involving this woman again in your situation when you dated so
what's the
long ago?
context?
She was in cosplay.
Oh, so he was like it was supportive of her.
I don't know. I as Amber with like the fallout after that Johnny Depp thing, I would
Yeah.
want everybody's like to keep my name out of their mouth, but he
You
just
leave me
posted
alone.
yeah, like please just let me be. Like the bed situation and everything, like keep me out of the headlines. Anyway, so in the article, Justine also says that she doesn't want to have any kind of relationship with Elon and that she deals with his assistant when it comes to the kids, which honestly sounds pretty great because he sounds pretty insufferable. I've heard the kids that are old enough to know absolutely cannot stand him.
Yeah, right. That's like pretty much the only thing we hear about his kids and their personalities. We just hear that one absolutely does not fuck with him, and that tells you a lot.
Yeah, so Justine Musk, she lives a pretty private life in LA. Um, So Elon thinks that his kids were brainwashed by LA schools, but I don't think that they were brainwashed. I think that they were just turned off by his horribleness and they were like, well, our mom was the one who stayed while you just did whatever.
Right. You were out here fucking around in space and like banging
Mom is
bitches.
on the ground crying about our sibling
Right. And
and
you're
you're
saying, oh,
shooting rockets in
trying to
the air.
manipulate me. Yeah.
Yeah. He said that she was suffering from a woke mind virus. Like, what does that mean?
Right. So his child, the one that is transgendered, he was like, "Oh, she doesn't really mean that. She's just brainwashed and she's suffering from a woke mindset." Which if you ever ask a white person what does woke mean, they're like, remix."
They can never tell you. But I also remember that the trans child that he has, she
Mhm.
literally said like she's so done with him. She was like, I do not want my name to be Musk, and
Mhm.
I don't want any of his money. Can you imagine not wanting one of the richest men? Like,
So
write me out
you
of the will.
know,
I hate this dude. Write me out of the will. I've had enough. Like she's like watching him like blow up stuff in space, and she's just like,
you're like
nah,
shaking your head. That's
no,
like
no,
the
thank you.
reverse disownership. Like,
Like literally Uno reverse. Like, no, sir.
so his second baby mama is Grimes, which, she's a musician from Canada. And I remember back in 2018 when I heard that Elon and Grimes were dating, I was like, what? Like, Grimes, like the same girl that sings Genesis, which I would be like moving around my room like a wacky arm waving inflatable tube man, like, but on perks. I don't know. That's the bitch that's dating Elon Musk. Like, how did that happen? It just happened. Um, and so she told the media that their relationship was very fluid, which I'm like, ew. I don't like that word. I'm not gonna like that word at all. Which to me, that was such a massive red flag because, like, beyond the fact that he's already a divorced baby daddy 5 times over before she got with him, and he left his ex-wife in the fucking dust, right? And you still, anyway. So they were on and off from 2018 to 2022. In May 2020, they had their first child, who they named XAEA-12 Musk. Why? We don't know. Like, we can only assume it was because they were trying to be edgy and weird and it was cringe. They decided to nickname him X, which is a common theme for Elon. He's not super creative. SpaceX, Twitter X, Baby X, interpret that how you will. One thing to note is that in 2021, she posted on Instagram that even though they were broken up, she was still living with him. And then at the end of that year, she told Vanity Fair that they had a second child. It was a girl, and they named her Exa Dark Sidereal Musk, and they nicknamed her Y. And to me, that was kind of relatable because I also was not dating my baby daddy when I got pregnant. We were just being irresponsible in our 30s. So it was a little bit different because, they use a surrogate, but, let's revisit that later. Anyway, so Grimes recently tweeted and deleted that Elon actually does not even let her see their son, X, which is weird because at the time we were under the impression they had 2 kids. So it's like, does she have the girl and he has the boy? I don't know. And then his third baby mama, who we'll talk about in a second, she blocked Grimes on social media. And so she said that he isn't speaking to her and the situation is, quote, ripping my family apart. And I'm like, that is messy as fuck. It's really interesting to me to see how, like, rich people and celebrities, they go through the same type of BS that our regular ass baby daddies put us through. And I'm like, all this drama, like, for what? Like, I don't know either of these two people, but I can promise you their son probably wants to be with his mom. Like, come on, like, why are you hiding the baby? Like, let's be fucking for real. So
Yeah, that's like so strange. Like while we're going through this, it's, like sounds like an episode of like Jerry Springer to me,
right, you're too
with
rich
just
to be
fancier
acting like that.
names.
Ugh.
So while we literally were making this episode, we heard that they had a third child with a surrogate. And how do you pronounce that? Tau,
It's like TAU, right?
Tau,
Now.
Techno, whatever. I'm not
Why
even
did you
gonna.
name your kid after that shitty like Asian fusion restaurant in New York City? Like,
Oh, that's what it was. I
no,
thought.
no, I'm just kidding. I don't think so.
I think they just like kind of like randomly pick a complicated sound and just go with it. Like that sounds super into. That sounds
Sounds like
great.
technology. We love technology.
So are they like old money or new money? Because it sounds like just new money BS.
I think it's like, okay, so Elon is comes from old money in South Africa, and then I guess he came over here and just was like, I'm gonna act an entire fool. And so I guess it's a little bit of column A, column B. He sucks.
Basically, I think all of the women except his first wife just like signed their soul to him. Like he's in the world. Like he has like ironclad like lawyers.
Has to.
So I think that they just do whatever. Because Grimes, when I was really into her, like I thought that she was like a free spirit. You can't tell her anything. She never
Hmm.
really made it known that she was dating anybody. Like she never seemed like she was tied to anybody. But once Musk got her, like he really like put a chain around her neck. Like even her music now is just not it.
It's really not. I tried to listen to like one of her more recent songs, and I think I got like 5 seconds in, and I was like, nope, can't dance to this one.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, I'm trying to be experimental." I'm like, Grimes, this is awful.
Experiment by yourself, like in your room, and leave us out of it, please.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's like if she just kind of like gave up because she's like being really spoiled, or maybe she just doesn't have the
Hell
power to
no.
stop
She
him.
she has tweeted before that he doesn't give her money. And then everybody was like, then what was the point? So you let him embarrass you like that on the internet? Because you know he used to post stuff like, I hate trans people or whatever he would post, and she would be like, baby, no, this isn't you, you know? So I'm like, you let
Not
him
even
embarrass you on the
mentioning
internet for free?
that's like her entire almost like that's the majority of her fan base.
Right. Thank
Like she's
you.
alienated most of her fans.
And then she got stayed with him and kept like having babies for him. So it was like,
Wait, do you remember that super cringe thing when she was like walking around trying to do like I guess like damage control with like the Communist Manifesto or something?
yes, like she thought that was so funny. She's like, oh, I just want to prank the media, bitch. Nobody
That
cares.
wasn't a prank. Like no one was who was laughing? Was it
It
Elon? Can you
had
imagine
to
his laugh? Oh my god, why do you think Elon Musk? Do you think he's like a
one baby mama. Two.
Oh no. You know what? Yeah, he probably does that like a vampire because he is a vampire. Like, why is he so pale? Like,
He
I've
is.
seen
Look at him.
pale
He's like
people.
feeding off the souls of these women that enter into his life. Like,
Maybe that's why, like, the first children want to stay away. They're like, you're not getting our life force.
not getting my soul. Not today, Dad. Anyway,
You know what? Let's make a mention of something else that Elon was doing very gross that I absolutely 100% believe this woman about.
but
Azalea Banks's threesome with them.
yes,
That
yes.
is
And what
baby
did she
mama
call
drama.
him?
What the hell was that?
Apartheid Clyde.
That was super embarrassing. And you know what was super embarrassing about that? Maybe like I think Elon does have like a humiliation thing, like dyeing Justine's hair, humiliating the other girl, and then he humiliated Grimes even more because why on earth would you want to set up a threesome with Azalea Banks knowing that she's like a humiliation wordsmith? She said that Grimes smelled like a roll of pennies and milk. And I'm pretty sure Grimes was like, well, what's wrong with that?
Oh my God, no.
And everybody's like, well, what do you mean? What's wrong with that?
There's so much wrong with that, sister.
So let's
Oh.
see his situation with his third baby mama, Siobhan Zillis.
Mhm.
Honestly, the only thing that we know about their relationship is that she worked for him and they had twins together via surrogate. Again, weird. Like this is like very I don't like that. I don't like how science fiction his relationships are.
It's so fucking weird.
Like, don't men like the process of getting a woman pregnant? Like, isn't that the whole point?
Apparently not him. He probably has like a robo dick. When he like
Ew.
sounds like gunshots.
Oh my God. What if it, that's like the first thing men think about. So, before he was shooting things into space, he's like, how can I improve on myself? First, he thought, I have to fix my hair. And then the next thing, I have to fix my dick.
I have to fix my dick. You know what? We should start a rumor
Yeah, it's probably,
that
let's
Elon
say
has
it's
a
like
RoboCop.
controlled by a big red button at quarters.
No. Oh God, the imagery. Oh
And
my
that's why
God.
nobody can hack into them anymore because he'll hack into Elon's dick. God, I hope he doesn't sue me. He can like literally
He,
put me into slavery if he does.
he literally shoots up the club. So
Okay, so the twins, let's get back to the twins. The twins actually have semi-normal names. They're Strider and Azure. Thank God. I mean, I wouldn't say that's semi-normal. That's still very I don't know,
out
wishy-washy. But
there.
anyway, they had these twins before he had his second child via surrogate Grimes. So like it's really crazy to think about. I mean, did Grimes even know? Grimes had no. She just I think he's keeping like a steady supply of like drugs and Grimes or something to just keep her like complacent.
That would explain a lot, honestly.
Probably like put like a little chip in her brain that just releases it and she's just like, oh, that's fine.
Right.
And why is he taking eggs from his employees anyway? Like, is that like a
Thank
part of the
you.
contract?
It's like you sign your employment contract and there's a fine print that's like, and also you have to give your eggs to Elon.
We might harvest your eggs, by the way. You might have to meet the robo dick. And they're like, what?
You have to press that red button, baby.
Oh god. That is a power thing. We just don't know if they're like dating, or like were they ever dating? It's just like very weird all around because like usually when it's like something like this, like there's like some aspect of romance or lust, but it's all
Right.
very mechanical. Thus the robo dick.
Right. And that was, I mean, in some way, her fucking boss. So, I mean, that's creepy. That's very fucking creepy.
Yeah. And he always picks women that are like somehow, well, that's kind of the thing. He picks women that are below him because he has no equals. He's a
Exactly.
billionaire baby daddy, roughly 10 times over that we
Right.
know of.
All three of these women are from Canada. And I mean, I think
Hmm.
there's something about that, right? Because it's like they're not American women. They are even just they were born in Canada. They moved to the US. And I think that also gives him some kind of power thing. I mean, he's from South Africa, but he's a billionaire, so that doesn't matter. But for them, maybe they feel like maybe my citizenship situation isn't stable enough to go head to head with a fucking multi-billionaire. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think so it's no secret, like every girl probably, unless they're fucking crazy, like wants to date a guy who's got some coins, right? Like, why wouldn't you? And but in my opinion, there's a limit to how like rich a man can be if you're gonna be in a relationship with him. Like, so with Elon being a fucking multi-billionaire, um, if any of the women tried to, get some type of control with their kids that they had with him, like he could just fucking destroy them. I mean, he could just crush them. He could have them tied up in court so badly that their quality of life would suffer. Like the man makes he tweets one time and the entire like stock market changes directions, the world changes. Like I wouldn't want to fuck with that type of power. And like my baby daddy is a regular ass dude. And if he had billions of dollars, like who knows what kind of fucked up shit he would do that would have me on social media begging to see my baby like Grimes. Like, and I'm like, that's such a miserable
Mm-mm.
situation, right?
No man should hold all of that power. Like I feel like
Right.
we're
It's funny.
we're going right back to when like royals just ruled the world. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. And I mean, Elon definitely, is the ruling class. And so I can empathize with Grimes, even though there were hella red flags there before she got with him. I feel sorry for her. I mean, that's sad to be begging to see your son on social media because he blocked you, and also I guess his new baby mama blocked you. And like, what can you do? So, um, I mean, with somebody like Elon who is worth $253.5 billion. Like, I mean, the amount of money that is, most people can't even comprehend a number that high. Like, there's only entire countries have more money than he does. So if he wanted to fuck with you and like keep your child from you, there's nothing you can do but pray about it. Like the US court system would probably have you end up paying child support to him, like if you ever try anything. And that's just it. I mean, what are you gonna do, right? So,
Yeah, it's really terrifying. Like the more I think about it, it's just like it was all very planned. Like this man clearly doesn't just make regular male moves. Like he doesn't just randomly lustily goes out with a woman. Like he plans these women. And like the Canadian citizenship thing really scared me because it's like, well, what about Canadian law is that he's so attracted to that he doesn't ever try American
he
women?
has to know something we don't know.
Yeah, like what is it about American women that you're so scared of? Because he doesn't even date American real well. Amber Heard's from where?
That's a good question. I'm gonna look that up.
Because that's
But
one of his most notable exes. Where is she from?
yeah, I'm gonna.
And he was just talking about her, which is
Oh, she's
very
from
strange.
she's from the US.
She's from the US, but he
Yeah,
didn't put
but
a
he didn't
baby in
marry
her.
her, so
Didn't
and he
put a
didn't
baby in her.
didn't put a baby in her. The
That is
fucking
weird.
conspiracy theories write themselves.
That is terrifying. That man is, oh my God, he's like so inhuman. I don't like that.
Mm-mm, hell no.
Honestly, Justine, she probably was the one that came out most unscathed because I feel like
Mm-mm.
she got, well, not she got to Elon. Elon got to her before he really like grew into himself and like got all of this power.
I'm just picturing him like looking like Gollum, like come here, be precious. Like he
And
really
she's
got
like, all right.
okay, if you say so.
I can imagine like a cartoon thing. Like he's like, hey, can you sign this to like be a part of the sports club?
Oh,
She's like,
good
sure.
God.
And she signs it. And it's actually like a contract.
And he's
Give me your eggs.
like, cutting his cats in a spinning chair.
No, it's got to be a RoboCat. He wouldn't love anything that's real. RoboCat
Yeah,
for his RoboDick.
honestly. God, this nigga.
No, oh God, I'm not talking about that, but actually, maybe. I don't know.
Out of all of the women, I would want to be Justine because, you know, she can live out her life under the radar. She's a published author, so she, has some coins of her own. She doesn't have to really deal with him. She said in the article, in Vanity Fair that like they, communicate through his assistants. And I'm like, honestly, that would be my preference too. Because fuck that guy. And, Grimes, she's a musician. She has some of her own coins too, but we see obviously that she's suffering and she can't say no to him making babies with her eggs. And I have a rant about Siobhan, sister. Like, you're a fucking weirdo, honestly. I mean, I try to have a lot of empathy for baby mamas as a baby mama myself. You're fucking weird. You saw how he did his first baby mama. You knew that he was dating and inseminating mine when you decided that you were gonna have kids with your fucking boss. Like, there were no good choices made there. And so, bitch, like, I hope he has a major legal and financial protections because, I mean, honestly, we see how he moves, so I doubt that she has any protections. But it's like, I mean, just I can't even get into the mindset of why you would think that's a good idea, to jump into the three-ring circus and be the third baby mama. So, which baby mama would you rather be?
Um, honestly, I think it's pretty obvious. Like, it just kept getting worse. Again,
Mm,
Justine, she got the best bet. Her kids are older, especially, so now they can choose who they want to be with.
hmm
As we talked about with his trans child, they don't want
hmm
anything to do with him. The courts have to respect that. Not
Absolutely.
like with a baby. So like if it's with a baby, they're like, well, the dad has to keep them. Whereas like we're like if it's like a teenager and it's like, no, I want to be with my mom, they absolutely have to be with their mom.
Right. Yeah,
So
she
definitely Justine. And you know what? That goes back around to the legal thing. I don't think Justine signed like an NDA or something because she was able to expose a lot of his stuff.
yeah, and honestly, I mean, she didn't go as far as I would probably have gone and like described in detail his robo dick and the failure of the machinery and why he has to use IVF. Like, I would have dragged his ass through the fucking mud. Even if he
After
uses like
all of those kids, girl.
right. And even if he like threatened me with his billionaire money, it would still be worth it. Like because fuck him. So if we had a rating scale for these baby daddies, which I am still coming up with, but basically if they had like threat levels, right? So
Threat levels. DEFCON
like the
baby
US
daddy.
government, like the terrorism threat levels. So with the bottom tier being like, okay, he's all right, he's okay. The middle tier being like, ew, no, he sucks. And the top tier being like, Girl, change your name, change your kids' names, get your motherfucking kids out of the country, go into witness protection. I would say he's at the highest threat level. Like a normal non-rich baby daddy can make your life hell, but Elon can just have you fucking erased if he wanted to, and that's fucking terrifying.
You can't even like leave the country. Like this man is going into space. You can't
Oh
even
God,
like leave
you're
the
right.
planet because he's
He
going to
probably
be there.
implanted chips into the people like who have like come across him in his life that he wants to monitor, so you just cannot escape.
He's going to take over. Like, well, you know what I want? I want I want Zuckerberg to beat him. So like the only maybe that'll make him stop. But yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, them
Highest
two,
threat level.
when they were like talking about how they wanted to fight or whatever, I picture like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Like,
Zuckerberg's going to kick his ass.
honestly, I
The
think
Zuck
he would.
because something's just so lizardy about him. Like he's like Elon, kind of like a nerdy kid. Like, yeah, I got money now. I don't have to do that. But Zuck's, I feel like he's been through some things. You get like a beer in him, he's taking you down. Like Zuck will bite. Zuck will bite you.
Yeah, isn't like college dropout, so he's like hardened. he's,
He
he's
said
from
he
the
was doing things
ministry.
in his parents' garage, and it wasn't just building like software. Like he was probably like lifting weights.
Waiting for his opportunity.
Yeah, like, and not even that. He did not hesitate when Elon was like, "Oh, do you want to fight?" He was like, "Absolutely, meet me then, there, and there. I'm going to beat you the fuck up."
Meet me in
And
the
Elon's like, "Wait,
octagon,
wait, wait.
nigga.
I wasn't serious." Like, and no, like Mark was like, "No, like, let's fight."
I'm
I'm so
yes.
sick of you.
I can picture him typing that, not blinking as he.
Yeah, like, no, no, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go right now.
Elon, look, we don't know you personally, but as a baby daddy, you represent the highest threat level. You represent all that is wrong with men when they baby chop a woman and cause her to suffer because of it. And guess what? We hate you.
Two thumbs down and an extra thumb if I had one for
Boo.
your robo dick. And that's our show. Thanks for listening.
Peace out.
Bye.